want to get over into this top five Christmas foods, Christmas Day foods. Do you want to go first, or do you have your five?
I don't know if I have five. I mean, just the one that I think is like the food for all Latinos and Mexicans, right? Is the tamales, right? The tamale, right?
Yes.
And so I am Mexican and Guatemalan, so I grew up with the Guatemalan tamales. I don't know if you've ever had the Guatemalan
Yes,
tamale.
yes, yes. My
So
girl is Guatemalan, so
okay,
she introduced me to the Guatemalan
uh,
tamal.
so as you can see, it's made differently, right? It still has
Yes.
the wrap, but it's not the corn leaf
You
wrap.
use the green. You use the
The
green leaf, right?
the banana leaf.
Uh-huh.
It's a banana leaf. So the tamale is really soft. It's really
Yes.
soft and moist, and then when you have the meat in there, so it's really soft, and that's what I grew up on. Those Guatemalan tamales. Christmas morning. My mom would make the breakfast. Eggs, whatever, and just the tamale, right? The Guatemalan tamale, and that's what I grew up on, and the Mexican tamale, we also make a version of that, but we call those chuchitos. So
Hmm.
they're like smaller tamales. They're smaller, the same thing in the corn, but we call those chuchitos. Um, but then now I do get the Mexican the tamales, but it's kind of hard to find a place. Like I don't really have a go-to place for those. Um, you know, there's a place right here I live in Chino, so there's a place, some restaurants, but they're kind of some years they have them, some years they don't. This year I haven't had a tamale yet, so it doesn't even feel like it's Christmas time yet because I haven't had one yet, so it's kind of odd. So, but that I mean, it's pretty much it. That my top five is like one thing. It's tamales, Guatemalan tamales.
Okay, well, tamales are on my top five. Actually, tamales is number one on my list, and in particular, I'm a big fan of los de puerco, the puerco with the red sauce. But I'm also a big fan of the green sauce tamal with chicken, de pollo. I'm a big fan also. I love all tamales, but I'm a big fan of los de rajas, which is the jalapeno and the queso. So tamales is number one on my list. Number five on my list, it seems like I only drink this at Christmas time, is atole. I'm not sure how many of our listeners are fans of atole, but to me, Christmas represents it's atole. That's the only time you want to drink atole for me is on Christmas. And number four, my dessert, my favorite dessert, and I seem to always eat this around Christmas time, are buñuelos. Have you had buñuelos before,
Yeah,
Babyface?
at that house that I told you that I grew up going to, she would make buñuelos every Christmas Eve too, and we'd have those there. Yeah.
Yeah, buñuelos are fantastic. Number three, oh my gosh, I think I just lost my number three. I don't have a number three, so maybe it's just a top four. So let me restart this. Top four is atole. Three are buñuelos. Two is pozole. I have to have pozole on Christmas, Christmas Eve. It's fantastic. My tia Leticia makes this green pozole. I know there's the red, but for me, I'm a person who prefers the green, and I love the cabbage on top of it, or repollo. Or when I was a kid and they used to send me to the store and I didn't know how to say repollo in English, and I would call it chicken. I would just put that on there. But number one, as we mentioned, is the tamal. That is the number one Christmas food for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have a top four. Actually, we'll
Actually,
combine. We'll add your five.
actually, I could add two and three. Pozole too.
Okay.
I get the pozole, the green pozole. I prefer that over the red and even over menudo. I'm not a big menudo fan, so
Yeah.
I like the green pozole. And I forgot everybody's favorite pan dulce, right? You gotta have some pan dulce, right?
Okay.
So
So yeah. All right. So let's do that then. We'll make pan dulce our number five. I'm including your Guatemalan tamales in the tamale list. So the Bleedlos podcast official Christmas food list goes as follows. Are you okay? Do you want to put buñuelos? Do you want to? No, atole has to be five. Atole has to
Now-
be 5 because of those 5, atole is my least favorite.
Now, atole is kind of like a hot chocolate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. that
Well,
shit.
not necessarily a hot chocolate, but yeah,
Some it's a bit hot, right?
yeah.
And like, did they have like butter or something like that in it or something like that?
You know,
Is it-
go ahead and vamp. I want to see what the actual ingredients are because there's different atoles, right?
Because I just remember as a kid, I think drinking that, and the next thing I knew, it was coming out. So I kind of have stayed away from that.
Well,
So-
because they have like you can have an atole de elote, you can have an atole de chocolate, but it's basically a hot drink, is what the atole is. But to me, it's my least favorite. But if I'm gonna drink it, you're basically drinking liquid flour, is what you're drinking with atole,
Yeah.
right? So that to me is my least favorite Christmas food. 4. Do you want to go then with buñuelos?
You do buñuelos, yeah.
And then 3, pan dulce.
Mm.
And then 2, pozole. And number 1 is tamales. Is that the official Blade Los Padres? That is the carne asadas list for top Christmas foods.
Yeah, and some, like I said, my favorite are the Guatemalan tamales, and it's usually pork in those. And then as far as the Mexican ones, I like chicken or cheese. Those are my top 2 on that side.
Do you like the rajas? Do you like the ones with jalapeno in it, or just cheese?
No, it'll get too spicy for me sometimes.
There you have it, everybody. So Merry Christmas, everyone, because by the time you guys are listening to this episode, we're going to be very close to Christmas. And who knows when you listen to this episode. You might listen to this episode on Christmas Day. So Feliz Navidad, everyone.